Welcome to a new episode of DevSecOps Talk with me, Mattias.
Andrey?
And Paulina, we have a new thing.
Yeah, you have a new thing. What's this? You don't know.
Paulina came up with it.
Right. And today it's really hot. I think we have like 30 degrees coming up in Sweden, which is really hot. So I'm just not going to make it more than like 30 minutes, then I'm going to melt. Andrey, how's life in Spain?
Yeah. Well,
AC.
good football. Yeah. It's kind of getting hotter here in Canary Islands. It's summer finally.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll find some minute to go in deep in the ocean after this recording.
Yeah. We're going to Lake Paulina. Have you close to any water?
Not really. I'm mostly in Poland over this week. We've stopped over in Belgium for 24 hours and in Denmark for 24 hours. So not really time to. But on Sunday, I do have Ironman in Poland. So that's going to be in the water.
Is it like a full distance or a half
No,
distance?
half. I don't have time for full.
Is it in Krakow?
No, Gdańsk, Gdynia.
Aha. Okay, cool.
You're moving around. I'm just like status here on my summer house. I'm going to be here for a couple of more weeks.
When was last time you were out of Sweden?
I was in Spain, Barcelona. And that was during kind of 2 months ago. Yeah. So I do travel out of Sweden. Yeah. Now in the summer it's great. And today, now all the families are here, so we have a big play. My sisters are here and the kids are playing.
Yeah, especially when you have a family. So.
Yes, that's why I'm just going back to this small cabin and I can work from here in peace and quiet.
So, what else do you do in your summer house? Mattias, what is the topic for today?
The topic is today is I think we started talking about this before, but we see a lot of friends going. The AI boom is giving a lot of headache for security people. I see one post that's saying like people are worried. For example, a lot of companies are using Mythos and other LLM tracking security vulnerabilities. And I did see one post on social media saying like, why does everybody release security patches but not Cisco? Like, are they using the same tool as everybody else, right? And why are they not bringing up security patches as all other tools? Like, what's going on? So that's one of that the LLM will start doing, like fixing our code that had problems before. And we talked about it before. It's adding a wave of updates and patching, right? And as you said before, I think, are they like, will this wave stop, right? Are we done with all the patching and then we like everything is secure? Or will it just continue, like we're producing more code and that's not going to be secure? So it's going to be a big wave. That's one of the topics, like one of the things we should discuss here, like how should you as the practitioner is going to protect yourself? What can you do to keep up with the flood? The other source is coming from the internet, because most of us run services that are exposed to internet, and LLM is pretty good now at going directly for web pages. You scan them and see if they can find security. So like what we did before, like maybe hide something with some obfuscation and things like that. I mean, if you put LLM to a code base, he will go through it and find those API keys in seconds for you. That's another approach.
And I think also one point to add to it that, AI got better with it and it's exposing more stuff. And also how many people started coding or prototyping stuff and so on increased without having a proper, I'm talking people who were not in the industry before, but people who don't really have the, education or knowledge, what they should also get AI to check from a security point of view, or what to pay attention to ensure that their APIs are secure.
Yeah, exactly. And like, somebody said, like, whose responsibility is it? Like, is it Lovabot's responsibility that the application is secure, right? Or is it the developer or the vibe coder that's the application, right? So yeah, probably we're going to produce a lot more code and it's not going to be more secure. So you're just going to be, and then we use more tokens to secure it or hack it. But we can start with like the flood wave of Dependabot patches, right? And now saying Dependabot, because like, isn't that the first step you should do if you're working with software today, to make sure that you have some tool to check your dependencies, right?
Yeah, I think you need to get something what is ensuring that you have, one thing what is updated, what not, and you can, how much automated you want to get it. Because also what I see, okay, it can example with Dependabot. One thing, we have much more incidents, so we want to be patching much more often versus, and because we need to do it more often, the more we want to automate it.
Yeah.
And so Dependabot, it's not anything new what came, with the AI boom. It was around before, but I see more of usage of this tool and similar right now, that but also question how much you trust it, because you can, it can check it, generate PRs, run tests, but question, do you want it also to fix the issues automatically or not? Like recently I had issues somewhere that no, all tests were passing, everything was telling it works, but the update was wrong, so we needed to revert to the lower version and so on. Now they came up with a new version and that patched the previous one. But again, you still need human in the loop a bit, even if you automate it, to being able to look if the issues pop.
What you set it to? Like, you set it to always go for the latest one, right? I did see someone, Andrey, help me out here, like that said, like, they have like a span, right? Don't go, they have like some days or weeks before it patched to the latest one. So you get that, like, even if the latest one come up, you're still waiting 1 week before you go to it. Because we also see a lot of
if there is like if there is supply chain attack, you want to wait to see like if the people make a fuss of it and then it's getting fixed.
Yeah.
So, you want the stable one. It was always the same question, on the all interviews I was getting for the Docker. Never put it to the latest one. Always pin the version and so on.
Yeah. I mean, that's also one of the things, right? That comes up, right? One is like you want to make sure that you patch, right? Because the LM will find vulnerabilities in a lower version, and to keep up with this, you need to patch it, right? So you're not vulnerable. And the time frame is shortened, right? Before we had maybe days or weeks before they can be used, right? But now it's so short. That's why you need to patch quick, right? The other side of that coin is like you get supply chain attacks. And the good part here is that they are detected really quick, right? Within like maybe days or something like that, right? Because as soon as a new release is released, or like a package is released, we scan it as well. So we find the vulnerability really quick. But if you go for the latest one, you already exposed to that. You want to have some sort of window here, like when you get the latest one, but you might want to wait a couple of days to make sure that the one that released the package, make sure that it doesn't have any supply chain attack, right? And I think could be a good fit for setting up your Dependabot. And Andrey, you're better with this, but you can set it in the file for example, GitHub. You can define in your Dependabot like how many days do you want to have this window, and which packages it should be for.
Like, I have a different opinion on all of that. So, which is not new, but that's a point of view that some people might share, is that trying to chase all those vulnerabilities, I mean, they need to be patched. I'm not saying you have to ignore them, but they need to be patched, yes, but trying to stay on top of it, it's just playing the whack-a-mole game. And so what I think is we should just maybe assume that the software are going to be buggy.
See?
Hold on.
I think it's about the balance in it. We always as secure as we can try, but you cannot also you're not able to prevent everything. and spend your whole time to patch everything all the time. But if you can, for example, put some automation and you make your life a bit easier and be up to date. I've seen so many outdated applications, dependencies in my life for not days or weeks or months, but years. One of the cases, where something was outdated for 7 years, just because of lack of ownership. So
sure,
there is a balance in it.
Yeah, there should be some patching going on. But what I'm trying to say is maybe you can shift the mental model, assuming that the software you are running is vulnerable. Because here, like with this mental model of chasing all the patches, your mental model is that my software is fine. Like I can trust to my software. So I do think that you should consider it not trustable because yes, there are vulnerabilities in packages, but your own developers can introduce issues. So there will be always something in there. Obviously, you should put into the effort to reduce and minimize the number of possible issues to prevent intrusions. But you just should think of it that it is vulnerable, someone will get in, so you should not rely on just patching and actually architect around that. So for instance, you're running in Docker, use scratch images, like for instance, if you're running like Golang applications, like if you have a choices of the languages, well, like the go for those that you can run in scratch images that will be like memory safe and all of that, because then when someone breaks in, they have nothing to leave off the land because container is pretty much empty. And then all the new standards that's coming out now, all like compliance requirements like NIS2, they mandating the network segregation. So do your network segregation, and then like if something is sticking out, I mean like think about what needs to be sticking out to the internet and only stick out if you really, really, really have to. So like stick out that, but if you're sticking something out, put it on a separate network. So there is like the minimal level of connectivity with other zones. So like just go beyond that a little bit. Yes, like the patching is important. I'm not saying you should stop doing that, but security comes in layers. And I do think that importance of those layers that go beyond patching is maybe more there. So like maybe more important if you pay attention there.
You're on the other side of the coin, right? There's two. Like one is the patching, which we talk about now, like getting packages in, right, and don't get bad packages. The other is from the external view, like you have stuff running, and you will get people that go for those and try to hack you. And with the LM tool today, it's getting much more easier. You get more help, right? And really, the basic, as you said, like it's just those things like harden your system, like. But people hopefully have been doing this for a long time. But if I just want to go back to the patching and when Dependabot, one of the problems with Dependabot is to only see the version, right? It's only seeing the version of what's going in, right? It doesn't have the context where you're running your application. But you can really fix it. So what you can do is like in your repository, and I'm trying to add this to the one we're running now, I add some context about the application, right? In the repository, so okay, like this application is running on this web server, it's running this Docker, it's running on with a WAF in front, and to add some context about the application when it runs. So now when I get a Dependabot issue in my GitHub, I can have a script or tool or LM that is fetch all the Dependabots, check it with the description of the application, and then like, is this really applicable or not, right? So the Dependabot can say like, you need to update because you're using this command and it's not, you're passing this data through whatever. But when you look at it in the repository with the LM, you can say, well, this command is not used here, right? Or this is only used in test. It's not applicable Dependabot update, and then discharge that. And this is not applicable for us, and remove it. And if you here, you can start use the Dependabot a little bit quicker, and then probably lower the updates for everybody. And I think that's a good start. But then you need to patch them, and then on we go to the side when we need to defend ourselves.
I mean, like, fight fire with fire. I mean, like, if you're protecting yourself from LLMs, use LLMs to just,
Exactly.
like, you want to build your LLM loop. So here's one for you, which is, well, not exactly the loop how people mean it, but anyhow, just run the agent daily, like create a routine. I mean, all of the harnesses today, like the big ones, have routines. So, or like create a CI jobs that would, you can install cloud code into the GitHub actions, and then you can consume it either through Anthropic API, then through the API key, or if you're using AWS with a Bedrock, and then just ask it to run it every day, check the Dependabot pull requests, merge them in, run all the tests, check if stuff is still working, push to main. And like Dependabot can, the such CI job with an LLM inside with some cheap model can definitely do it for you. And like, if you have enough automated testing, like, why not?
This is what I do. I made a small script that run, or script or tool that run, get all the Dependabots, add them to all the repositories. Another script that goes into every repository, check the context, and then check, is this a valid one or not? If it's not valid, I mark it, right? Not applicable. The next day, the same tool runs and fill up the vulnerabilities for the Dependabot. It checks the label and says, okay, this is not applicable, and then it closes it, right? So now, instead of just adding the flood wave of alerts over to the developer, you first add them, but then also clean them up for them, and then remove the ones that are not applicable, and then you get down the level. And getting that network diagram of your application is really helpful as well, and you can create LLM to do that, like a markdown file in your repository with the context of the application is really helpful.
Also having what Andrey already mentioned, to have the security one running. So like, for example, in one of the cases we have the security agent checking on every PR, and then you can use the same for the Dependabot as well.
So it's like, as you said, Andrey, it's like fight fire with fire, right? Burn more tokens, right? You need to burn more tokens. But if you go back now to the other coin, like your site is going to run on the internet, and when it's exposed now, it's going to expose for a lot of LMs, right? They will go in and they will take your code and they will download it, and then will just chunk it to pieces and find anything you're trying to hide in it, right? People that just trying to avoid like scraping and those sort of things, it's hard now because the LM will just bypass them all, right? And if you have a dependencies and an exploit and you deploy that, you will probably be able to find it. So you need to make sure that your environment also are hardened as good as possible. And Andrey, you always said it in the beginning, like, do the basic, like if you run Docker, do the basic on the Docker, like use hardened image, right? That's key. Like deploy them separately, like do the cell, what we call it, cell like infrastructure, like, and divide them so you can't spread, right? You can't, if the host get access to one part, you cannot use that and jump to the next part. You need to block them and do that with like firewalls, and then monitor traffic to see if something's going on.
I think like even like doing the hardened Docker is actually easy nowadays, because back in the day you would have to harden it, right? Well, now you can use LLM to do it for you, or like there are even options now where you can go and buy them. I mean, like there is like ChainGuard offering the golden Docker images that's already hardened, and like with all the patches and everything. Like, go get those if the money allows you to do that.
And sometimes they say like, no, I can't use a hard image because I'm using blah blah blah. I need to troubleshoot blah blah blah. But then like make two images, then like one hardened for production and then one that have more tools, right? If you have issue, you swap the images, like they should be the same deploy, but they have different security levels. Like Do you need to go in and do something? You should not, but if you have to, use the more open one and do your troubleshooting. And when you're done, switch back. Right? So it's not like you cannot do it, and because you're doing other things. You should be doing the hardened image. And then the next part is the attack will come over the network, right? It will be a network call to your application that will be the attack. And we have WAF tools today, right? Make sure that your application is behind a WAF, right? Or something that look in the traffic and see, like, is this a good pattern or not, right? I mean, every cloud provider or anything uses, you can get a WAF today. You should have it as default for everything, right? Because that's why we see the traffic coming in, right?
Yeah, so those are like defensive measures, but then like have intrusion detection, has canary tokens in your containers. So if someone gets in, you get a ping.
Yeah.
So there are many things people can do.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and look for like network, like we talked about before, like if someone get into your shell, like Docker, they want to have some footprint, so they want to get like shell or something in the container. If you have a Docker that don't allow shell, you're pretty good, right? If you still have that, you can look at the calls. There are tools that look in the Docker and can search for like patterns when you're trying to do things you haven't done before, like, or easy part like DNS external, like make sure you're logging your DNS traffic going external. So they need to call back, right? The shell is always looking something back. Make sure that the outgoing traffic is also logged and monitored. There are some easy things you can make sure, like.
Feels like we started with patching and now we're doing the whole security shebang.
Yeah, but it's we see what happens. But they come like hand in hand. It's the new era of LLM. Like one, they're going for all the packages, but they're also gonna come in the other side as well for us.
So at the same time, I mean, like, so we had access to Fable 5 on and off. Like we now have GPT 5.6, which, like, in my experience, like people saying it's kind of comparable to Fable. That's like not my experience really. Anyhow, there are no big reports of breaches, like people like being hacked left and right.
Yeah.
So there was quite a lot of hype about that. But yeah, one thing that we really see now is amount of patches coming in to all the software. But there doesn't seem to be an increase or epidemic of the hacking going on, at least as far as we are aware.
Yeah.
Like there is like nothing in general news that like we have now flood doors open and everyone being hacked left and right.
Yeah. No, and I would be more worried if I was using some larger firewall, maybe say from Cisco, Fortify, some of those firewalls that are up and both, because they're really hard to switch out, right? I'd be really worried about those and start monitoring those more closely. Because if there are some exploits coming out of those, they always connect to the internet and they always have maybe some tools open, and that would go. I'd be worried if I have those to make sure that the admin access is really locked down and can only maybe be used internally or something. I will look for those. Cloud provider, they have access to this model before, so they should be patching, and they have been patching for a long time, so it should be more safe there right now. See.
I mean, like before that, you could have an argument. Like if you're a small team, you could have an argument of running on-prem and saving money. I don't know, like right now, like if you have to do as much security, you are much safer with a bigger cloud provider who can have your back and make sure that underlying infrastructure and the higher level primitives that they offer you asecure and patch, because then you don't need to do it yourself.
Yeah, and you
So-
get the same security as the bigger companies. If you're on AWS, you get the same security with firewall as Netflix, right?
Yeah.
They're using the same tool here. It's not necessarily different, right? So, yeah, it's gonna be more bit like more work on your daily things to keep up with the security than it was before. Right.
Well,
Okay.
we'll see if it will reflect in the security budgets.
Yeah. Come back to this one.
Because like CISOs was always like, begging for more money to do more security stuff. I mean, that's why, like, look, we had ransomware going on for how many, 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
And it's still going on.
Yeah. And I have a take on ransomware.
Hmm.
Maybe ransomware is the only thing that made the security better for everybody. Because I get a little bit angry when I read about the news that there was some company that got hacked and they leaked a lot of information. They didn't pay the ransomware and they leaked all the data on the dark web, and then they get a fine from European and it was like nothing. Right?
Hmm.
The other part is like maybe they just pay the ransom bill, and then the ransom people make sure that everybody keep the security up to date, right? Maybe that's a better way of working with it. Like, so it's like if your security is bad, you need to pay the ransom people. It's more like Red Hat Teams, but
Right.
you get to find your fees, right?
You basically pay either your security people or you pay the bad guys. You pay anyway.
Yeah, you pay anyway, right?
Yeah, so
It's always about money.
Yeah. At the same time, ransomware wasn't much about security of your software or your perimeter per se. It was more about compromised credentials.
Yeah.
So, and the access from within. So people were selling the compromised credentials, or people were selling their own credentials for money. So, there is that.
Yeah, you are. Okay, we come up to 30 minutes. I'm getting really hot in here. Like you can see, I'm getting more and more red. It's not.
Have sauna.
Yeah, it's like a sauna in here now. So I'm gonna go down to the lake and cool down.
So go fix your Dockers.
Yeah, exactly.
Make them more secure, Mattias.
Yeah. Fix your Dockers. Make sure you add some in your repo that give the context to the Dependabot, what's going on, and make sure that you log stuff in production, like NS log. Make sure that those are like the key things you should start doing, and then start building your defenses.
Before we close, by the way, like while we are on the topic of summer vacations, I was listening to the Swedish radio programming in English, and they shared, like, there is some bureau agency in Sweden that released the guidance on how to secure your house during the summer vacation, and prevent burglars from coming in. So one of the recommendations was to leave like a coffee cup, unfinished coffee cup, somewhere on the table so it's visible from the window, and don't do extensive cleaning as people usually do when they leave. Like, leave a little bit of mess behind so it looks like you're still home. Yeah. I'm not sure how practical those tips when you're sharing them on the public radio, because like then everyone is like listening, including burglars.
Yeah,
here are some tips for you, people.
Yeah. Go and have a look. Good that that's mostly how my house looks like when we leave it, right? So that's good then. But at least the mess part,
I think one of the best things you can do is just swap your houses with a friend.
Yeah.
And then have someone living there for you, because then you save money, they save money, everyone gets a change of place.
Yeah, but only if we would swap house, my neighbors will call the cops, right?
Well, you have to notify them.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people do like dog sitting vacation as well, that they go and live in someone's house by dog or pet sitting.
I know the people who actually pay a person to live in their place because they also have dogs and they don't want to leave the dogs alone. So then you basically have, a security alarm and a dog sitter
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Right. Okay.
Hmm.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yep.
See you around.
Stay secure. Bye bye.
Bye.
You have been listened to DevSecOps Talks with Mattias, Andrey, and Paulina. For notes and information, please visit devsecops.fm. Thanks for tuning in.